Hey guys, this is Mr. V over here doing a book review today for Tales from the Gas Stations Volume 4 by Jack Townsend. Before I get into my book review, I want you to know that I try to do a spoiler-free book review, so if you see me looking down, I just have some notes, so I try not to give any spoilers away. So, let's get into the book review for Tales from the Gas Stations Volume 4. So basically, the main premise of this book is this is just a continuation from Tales from the Gas Stations Volume 3. And let me comment on that. So I did not read Tales from the Gas Stations Volume 3 for about a year because I was waiting for the audiobook for Volume 4 to be released. So as soon as the audiobook for Volume 4 got released, I went back and I reread Volume 3, and that is something that I highly recommend that you do. That you don't want to put any space between Volumes 3 and Volume 4. I recommend you just read one right into the next. Because you basically, you want to remember the killing of prototypes, the power that Rosa has, the reset, and like Jerry at the end saying how he remembers everything. You kind of want to go into Volume 4 remembering all that. And that's why you want that fresh in your mind, because I think that helped a lot in the book. And it makes you go into the book with a lot of wonder. Like, okay, where will he take it for the last volume, Volume 4? And it just feels like a continuation right from Volume 3. And that's why I say you don't want to take any time off. I recommend you just go straight from Volume 3 right to Volume 4. Because he also discusses like the Dark God very early and the reset. He discusses it very early. And that plays a big role, especially when it comes to people like O'Brien. So you really want to know that. And I just say it helps remembering all that. And I think that the author, he did a great job just doing a continuation. Because it does not feel forced in any way. It really just feels like you're just continuing the story. And that was a lot of fun. And I would say that this book is very similar to the other books in terms of the craziness that goes on and like how he does it with the craziness, yet he throws a lot of humor in there and entertainment in there. It's the same as the other three books. And the craziness that goes on, I'll give you a slight spoiler. Pretty early on, he meets a demon, and he's told the world's going to come to an end in a few days. And then Jack has to figure out, okay, what do we do to stop this? That's just a minor spoiler, because he's told that very early on. But you can see he throws that craziness in there, yet he still throws the humor and the entertainment aspect in there. And, there were some times in the chapters where you didn't know what was going on, but I think that was done on purpose, because then it does get answered later. So, I felt that sometimes happened in the other three books as well. But it was really cool because this had many storylines and it was smooth writing because one storyline just led into the next. And one really cool thing is that you do learn the backgrounds of many of the characters, which is a lot of fun. I read other people online said they enjoyed the exact same thing, how you learn the backgrounds of the characters. So that's a lot of fun. And throughout the whole book, you're always wondering what will happen. And that's always a lot of fun because from the previous three, he can just throw humongous curveballs in there. So you always are wondering, okay, what's going to go on? Because sometimes he just throws in a humongous curveball. And despite doing that, I would say he still made most of the story flow very smoothly. How it just goes one storyline right into the next, and it just makes the book fly by because of that. But I said he made most of the story basically flow smoothly because there's some things I didn't like about it. Some of the things I didn't like was about the 2/3 mark, like kind of the middle to the end mark. I said about the 2/3 mark. It just lost its way a bit. It was still funny and entertaining, but something about it just lost its way a little bit. It just was not the same. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. And I read other reviews online and I read forums online. Some people felt the same as I did, that some people felt that something just lost its way about the 2/3 mark. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it was that it stretched it out a little too long. Maybe it should have been a shorter book. I don't know. Something about it. Again, I really don't know. But despite that, I still want you to know that it was still very funny and entertaining at that point. But there were some parts also at the very end, there were some parts that were a little confusing. And I think it was because he brought back some of the previous characters and it did make it a little confusing and it did make it a little tough at times. But, he does clarify it later, but it was not fun at the kind of the end of the book where some parts were a little confusing. So, that was something that wasn't so good. Those were the only big critiques I could say. But, overall, I thought the writing style, this was very well written. It was basically the same writing style as the previous three. If you're considering book four, you've read the previous three. So if you know that writing style, you guys are going to know exactly what it's like for the fourth one, in that it's very easy to read. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, crazy storylines, yet it's very funny and entertaining, and it's just a lot of fun. And it's because he just has great dialogue. He describes the scenery like in a great way, describes the situations in a great way. And something I think that is overlooked a lot is that he has great chapter length, because you never felt like it was way too long a chapter, because then you never had to like put the book down mid-chapter. So I think he has great chapter length, and I think that helps a lot as well. But overall, I just thought I've been a big fan of the series, and I thought this was a very nice end to the series. There are many discussions online about, okay, what does this mean or that mean, or was this a good end, whatever. But I just thought it was a nice end to the series. I enjoyed it a lot. So if you guys have gotten this far, I definitely recommend that you guys go out and read Volume 4. But let me give it my official rating right now. So I always rate my books on a scale of 0 to 10, with a 0 being an awful book, a 5 is an average, and a 10 is phenomenal. If it gets anywhere near a 10, put that on your reading list, because I'm a very tough critic, and a 5 is average. So for Tales from a Gas Station's Volume 4, I'm going to rate this book a 7, which is a very solid rating. In comparison, Volume 1 got a 6.5, Volumes 2 and 3 got a 7.5. So you can see this falls below Volumes 2 and 3, but it's still above Volume 1. But, I still thought that overall it's a great series. I thought it was a nice end to the series, and you can see I still really enjoyed the book. So if you guys are considering it, definitely go out and read this book. If you guys have any questions or comments, please post it in the comment section below. I hope you guys click the subscribe button, as I always upload multiple different types of book reviews. But thank you for watching my book review today. This is Mr. V. Go enjoy reading.